Hello, my name is Lucy Chenault with Teens in the Driver's Seat Teen Advisory Board. Thank you for attending today's session. Here are some tips to help make this session a great experience. We are committed to saving lives and reducing crashes on our roads and request each participant to commit to connecting to our event from a safe location. Please do not connect while driving or operating any form of machinery. First, notice the panel to the right with several tabs. Here's where you can chat, ask questions, retrieve handouts, and see answered polls. The chat is public and you are encouraged to say hello and answer any prompts that appear there. The presenter invites questions. Type those into the Q&A window anytime and we will answer those at the end of the presentation. A prize drawing for a $50 gift card will be held at the end of the session. Make sure you stay on for that. Finally, at the end of the conclusion of the webinar, please complete a very quick survey for this session, which will help the presenter and us improve in the future. Enjoy the session.
Want to send a message for your school to drive safe?
The only materials you need are a fence cups, and a handout on how to construct the message.
As part of the advisory board, we received a handout filled with instructions on how to construct different messages.
We wanted this message to be at the exit of the campus parking lot, where all the drivers head out on the road.
This is a great way to encourage all drivers, especially teen drivers, to drive safely as they head out on the road.
Welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Lisa Minjares Cayo, and I'm an assistant research scientist with the Teens in the Driver's Seat program. I would like to welcome our next presentation with Officer Mendoza and Officer Morales from the El Paso Police Department, sharing on a very informative topic called What to Do When You Get Pulled Over. Officer H. Mendoza was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, and joined the United States Air Force in 2009, leaving in 2018. He has been commissioned with the City of El Paso since November of 2016, and in 2019 joined the motorcycle unit and has served in this unit for the past 2 years now. As a part of this unit, he's assigned to enforce traffic laws, assist with motor vehicle crashes, parades, and funeral escorts. Officer J. A. Morales was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, and has a bachelor's degree in biological science and commissioned with the City of El Paso in 2016. He served as Central Regional Command Central as a patrol officer for 3 years, and in 2019 decided to join the motorcycle unit and has been with this unit for 2 years. Being on this unit includes enforcement of traffic laws, assisting with motor vehicle crashes, parades, and funeral escorts. Please help me welcome El Paso Police Department.
Hello, I'm Officer Morales with the El Paso Police Department.
Donut?
Sure. Thank you. Y'all have a good day. Drive safe.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
Last year, an estimated 600,000 officers were employed in the United States. At the same time, according to the U.S. Census, our country had approximately 300 million people, so that translates to one officer for every 500 people in the United States. Officers are tasked to uphold the laws that we as a society have set. As officers encounter people, one has to look at these interactions from the officer's eyes. One of the most dangerous contacts for an officer is a traffic stop.
How you doing? Good? Haven't seen you in a while. Still on probation?
911, ma'am.
What?
911, 911.
You just discharged?
Oh, 911.
Oh, 911.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna have you step out of the vehicle. You don't have anything on you, right?
The media often refers to traffic stops as routine. There is nothing routine about a traffic stop.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Jesus! Shots fired, County. Shots fired, kid! Kenny, I need units now!
Every traffic stop is unique and potentially dangerous. It takes a split second for things to go wrong.
Car for me. You were speeding, but right now I need you to... Sir, get back in the car for me now. Sir, please get back in the car for me now. I told you you were speeding.
Time and time again, officers are killed in the line of duty during these encounters.
Shots fired! Shots fired! 5326, shots fired!
To put the danger into perspective, from October 7, 2001 to December 31, 2014, 1,847 members of the U.S. Armed Forces lost their lives in Operation Enduring Freedom. The war in Afghanistan, 337 more officers died during that same time frame here in the United States. As of May of this year, 126 officers have lost their lives in the line of duty. You see, things can go horribly wrong in a split second. Every police encounter starts with a choice. Not ours, but yours.
You can't be on your cell phone while you're driving.
I wasn't on my phone. I was recording you because you scared me.
You can't use your cell phone while you're recording.
I can record you.
May I have your driver's license?
These situations did not have to occur the way that they did. Here are 3 things to keep in mind during a traffic stop. This not only helps you, but it will also aid the officer during the stop. 1. Pull over in a safe place. This will limit the possibility of you or the officer being struck by another vehicle traveling down the road.
I don't know.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
It's not like we were just going and getting drinks.
I have a plan.
Hello.
2. Remain calm. Do nothing and wait for the officer to approach you. Remember, as we saw earlier, things can go wrong in seconds. Officers don't know what intentions you have when you are moving. Officers are simply reacting to you. 3. Follow the officer's instructions. This ensures both you and the officer are understanding each other.
We're looking for masks.
Oh, okay, that's fine. You don't need them. Couple of reasons why I pulled you over, okay? The first, you ran the stop sign. The second, your left tail light is out, okay? Do you have a driver's license on you by chance?
Yes, sir.
Where is it at?
My wallet.
In your wallet? You can go ahead and grab it.
Okay.
And by chance, do you have a proof of financial responsibility? An insurance card?
Yes.
Yes? Where's it at?
The glove compartment.
You can go ahead and grab it.
Okay.
Thank you. Your address is still
Following these 3 simple tips will help you and the officer have a better experience during the traffic stop.
Hello, and thank you everyone for joining us for this live Q&A. My name's Lisa again, and I want to welcome Officer Mendoza and Morales to our TDS Summit. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
And I want to say very quickly, thank you all for your service and your commitment to keeping communities safe. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with the first question, because as soon as I saw the video, I just needed to know this. Do donuts really work?
Sometimes. No,
sometimes, yes.
No, I know,
no,
right?
They don't.
Darn. All right, I will not keep donuts in my car anymore after watching this.
Okay.
So, there's quite a few questions that come to mind, right, every time a stop happens. And so I think I have two different sets of questions. So one's more from a teenager perspective, and the other is just generally. So I'm going to start with the teen related questions, and hopefully you all can shed some light on that.
Yes.
So the first question I have from a teen perspective is, can I call my mom and dad and let them know I'm being pulled over? What's the process there?
I tend to have that question asked a lot. Usually it's best to wait until after the traffic stop is done. And it all depends on the officer, but it's best just to wait until after, and then you can make the phone call to let your parents know.
Okay. Or you could just not call them. Just kidding. Don't do that. Right? All right. So, and why do you recommend you wait? Can you elaborate a little bit on what the part of the video of just sitting there and waiting? Is there a best way to do that safely while you're waiting for the officer to come up to your vehicle?
The majority of the times, the officer always has to look at the person's hands, right? So if you're fiddling around and trying to grab something from your center console or anything like that, we just rather see, everyone wants to be safe at the point. Everyone wants to go home. It's always a tense situation when in a traffic stop. You don't know, the officer doesn't know, the person doesn't know the officer. So a lot of the times we just want to make sure that the hands are visible. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the steering wheel, but just as long as they're visible, they can be on your lap, visible where the officer can see them at all times.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to,
No, none of that.
No. Your hands. Okay.
No, yeah.
That's great. So, and really just to make sure that everyone's okay on the same page about this, right? Just being safe, you as the officer seeing us seeing you, that makes a lot of sense. So thank you.
Yes. All
right, another question. And of course, with COVID, everything has changed, right? So should I wear a mask?
It depends. If you feel more comfortable wearing it, I tell people go ahead and put it on. You can ask the officer. It's up to the officer as well. Generally, we still wear masks. So again, it's up to the person that we pull over if they feel like they need to. But I mean, you can always ask. It doesn't hurt to ask the officer.
Okay, so asking questions is good, and
yes.
and setting. Okay, that's great. Thank you. All right. So another question, and I have an answer to this because it's worked for me one time, but I'm gonna let you all experts answer first, okay?
Okay.
So I don't have my driver's license, but I have a picture of it. Will that work?
So by law, you have to have proof of it in hand. It has to be physically. So you have to have it on you at all time. That's including your insurance as well.
Okay.
A lot of the times it's the officer's discretion if he chooses to take it or not. But by law, you have to have physical proof of it in your hand to show the officer so he can grab it. Because you won't give him your cell phone. You're like, oh, here's my cell phone. And sometimes, a lot of the times, the officer steps back to his unit and he's not going to take your cell phone. So yeah, you always have to have it on you at all times.
Okay. Well, then I won't share my answer.
Yeah, no pictures.
Well, I actually have my driver's license number memorized, and I've had it memorized since I was 16 because I like to do that. And that actually helped me one time but the officer was taking mercy on my soul. So it was a discretion thing, not a law thing. So that's good to know.
Yes.
Right.
And a lot of the times we ask too if you know your driver's license number, because with that number we can check, make sure you do have one on file. And again, we're nice guys, so we tend to take the driver's license and we just let them know, hey, make sure it's on you when next time if you ever get pulled over. God willing, you don't, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. So good pro tip here: memorize your driver's license if you haven't already, and have it on hand though.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so we do have some questions from the chat. So we have a participant who asked, do you or other officers have a difficult time switching from on work to off work? Is that hard? And that's not a pullover, but maybe that's more of a just being an officer in general question.
Yes, but it is a little tough. We still have to watch our surroundings. You know, we do this job daily, so it does tend to rub off when we're off duty. But it's a good thing. I mean, we still have to serve and protect even when we're off. If something does happen, we have to respond. So I feel that, yes, me personally, yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with my partner. You have to, this job, it's a 24/7 job. So if something were to happen and you're around the area and you're a police officer, you have to preserve life at that point. And worst case scenario, something happens or whatever, you're there and you need to react as an officer, even if you're not working, even if you're not on the clock. As an officer, you still used to have that badge, and you have to react and preserve life at any point. So
yeah. Well, my mom's a bus driver, and she never stops being a bus driver, and she's always telling me how badly I drive. So I understand that. I think a lot of us take that profession to heart, right? So that's understable, and we really appreciate it. So you're basically saying you're heroes 24/7. So got it.
We try to be.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we've got another question, and this is actually related to the stopping piece. So we'll come back to that, which is, it's always great though to hear more about your lives. Okay, so when a stop happens and people in the car aren't wearing their seatbelt, do you ticket the driver or the riders?
Do you want this one?
I know that here.
That was a quick handoff.
I know that here in Texas, the passengers are liable for not wearing their seatbelt. If they are over 18. So if they're under though, then yes, the driver is responsible for them. So it's best just everybody have their seatbelts on.
Every ride, every time, right?
Yes.
All the time.
All right. Okay, so another question. Where's the best place to pull over?
So for the best place to pull over, I would have to say somewhere where it's not congested with traffic. Like, so if we pull you over on the freeway or something, and there is a substantial distance from, or the emergency lane, there's a big space, a lot of the times the officer would want to pull you there. You can pull over there. It has to be a safe area where you and the officer are going to be safe there because traffic is in the interstate. It's pretty heavy sometimes, and it is dangerous. So you just have to keep in mind, where's a safe place I can pull over for my safety and also the officer's safety. So if you choose to get out of the freeway and and find a little road or a little alley, that's perfectly fine. Because I mean, you're putting the officer's safety also and yourselves into consideration, and knowing that, hey, I just want to be safe at this point. But also don't don't elongate the stop. So if it has to be in a certain distance, so the officer is going to understand, okay, the exit is the next exit, go ahead and take it, and they'll take it, and the officer will direct you. Or a lot of the times what I've seen is the driver would be like, hey, I'm going to pull over here, and then we understand. And again, it's for the safety of both the driver and the officer.
I'd like to add on his answer. I've had people stop in the middle of the freeway. Please don't do that in any lane of traffic. Just keep communication with the officer, like he said. Point, saying that you're going to merge over. Use your signal still, and again, just keep communication with the officer and pull over to a safe.
Would hazard lights work maybe too, to let you know that we see that we were being pulled over?
Yes, that would also work.
Okay. Not that I've been pulled over.
You have a lot of experience with this. The life.
Yeah, I've already admitted that. Darn. Yeah. All right. So being sure that you communicate with the officer, trying to find a safe location, but don't drag it out. Those are all really great tips. And I completely agree. So on that note of not stopping in the middle of the highway, we have another question of, do you need to obey traffic laws even though you're getting pulled over? I feel like I know the answer to this, but I'm sure y'all have seen some crazy things.
Every time you're in a public road, you have to obey the traffic laws. Every time. Speed limit, using your signal. So a lot of the times we pull someone over, we initiate our headlights or our emergency lights, and they'll be on the first lane on the freeway, and then they'll just cut everybody off without a
signaling.
And I mean, you still have to maintain the speed, and if you want to merge and try to exit, you have to obey all traffic laws, even that, because you potentially could still get cited for that while the officer was behind you trying to pull you over.
Ooh, so it's like a double whammy.
Yeah, yes. But we just try to educate and let them know, like, just merge correctly with your signal
safely.
Yeah, and so we can.
So don't panic.
Yeah, don't slam on the brakes. That's another one. When they see when someone sees a police vehicle in the back with the headlights or the emergency lights, they panic and they tend to just go for the brake first, and everyone's slamming on the brakes. If there's someone behind us, then they're slamming on the brakes. So you have to be slowly just come to a complete stop, and because it's very.
You don't want to create an unsafe situation.
Yes, ma'am.
And violate more laws than you probably already have, which is why you're being pulled over. So that's great advice. I know there's certain instances where, say you're at a red light, right? And there's a red light. So, do you have any advice on some of those kind of scenarios where it's like, is it okay to wait for the light to turn green? It's just, are you all okay with waiting? I mean, I'm assuming safety is priority, right? So if you're at a red light, wait till the light turns green to go.
Exactly. Again, it goes back to obeying traffic laws. Even though you're getting pulled over, you still have to obey that red light, because there could be another hazard. You could cause a crash, and we don't want that. So it's just best just to wait.
Okay. Well, that is very helpful. I know taking a break and not freaking out is good for us as road users. Nobody likes being pulled over. No offense, but definitely not. Okay, definitely not something we want to do. All right. Another question, and I think this is a very important one. If an officer asks me to step out of the car, do I have to?
Yes. So the officer, it's the case law is Pennsylvania versus Mims, which allows the officer at any which point in the traffic stop to ask the driver out of the vehicle. Obviously, if we pull you over in the freeway, we're not going to ask you to step out of the vehicle in the freeway. But if need be, you have to obey the officer and his orders at that time. It could be for safety issues, or just a lot of noise or something. You need to speak to the driver outside of the vehicle. that's also in the passenger as well. So
that makes a lot of sense. Very straightforward answer. I appreciate that. Going back to our previous topic, I didn't see that in the chat, but we got asked, what if there is an emergency vehicle approaching, on what to do, on where to pull over? I think that was what the question was implying.
I'm assuming that the questions lean towards if they're trying to get through. Usually at that point they'll use their siren, and obviously hand signals, letting them know, hey, I'm trying to get through. I believe that's what the question is.
I believe you're right, because that was not what the question was asking. So thank you for answering the right question. Glad I am on this side and you're on that side for a reason, right? All right. So I know you somewhat answered this already, so I just want to confirm in case it got missed. We cannot utilize insurance on our phones, right? It has to be physical copies of our insurance. Is that correct?
Yes.
It goes back to discretion. Generally, nowadays, everybody has a phone with their insurance app. You know, we can verify it through that, but you do have to have a physical copy of your insurance card. But again, it's officer discretion.
Okay. All right. Do you all have quotas?
No, it's actually illegal.
It's illegal in Texas, yes, to have quotas. No.
So if our superior would tell us, hey, I need you to do 20, he actually can get arrested, and it's illegal.
Wow.
A lot of people do that. Yeah. And we hear it a lot when we pull people over. It's because of your quota. No, it's not. We can't have a quota.
Are there such things as speed traps?
No. There's just you just need to obey the traffic laws. So
I know, right? That was a good question.
you're doing your own speed trap. Like if you really want to see it, you're choosing to speed. And I mean, if the officer's there and he sees you speeding, that's someone's choice to speed. And then we have to react and obviously conduct the traffic stop and kind of like educate them and be like, hey, you can't be going that fast.
Definitely. All right. So how can student groups engage with police departments more to facilitate community connections?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. Whoever's off screen, stop interrupting. No. How can student groups engage with police departments more to facilitate community connection? So if I was a student group at a high school or something, how could I reach out to my police department? Do you have any tips on that?
You have your explorers here in the department, and also we have what are called PAR officers, so community service officers, and they can engage with them, and there's a lot of programs that the police department can utilizes with teens and especially explorers, and those officers they're subject matter experts when it comes to stuff like that.
That's great. All right,
and each regional command has their own community service officer.
Awesome. Okay, so you all are putting them there to really be that connection to the community.
To the community and the officers, yes.
That's great. All right, I got another question on the chat. So can you speak to the process of stopping people for texting and driving or driving distracted? How has that worked for you all in El Paso? So not a over question again, but
I know that here in El Paso, it is a city ordinance where you can't have a communication device or cell phone in hand at all while you're on the roadway. Whether you're stopped at a red light, at a stop sign, waiting for traffic to move, you cannot have a communication device in hand. We noticed that majority of the crashes here in El Paso do tend to happen because people are distracted because they are on their phones. So we try to enforce that a lot.
And just understand, and I'm gonna emphasize what my partner is saying, that once it's in your hand, say you're driving your car and then you have it in your hand, even if it's on speaker or just having it in your hand, is a violation within itself. You can't, because there's instances we pull people over. Well, I wasn't on it. Well, I understand, but you can't have it in your hand at all. because it's distracting you from having both hands on the vehicle, and that's one of the big concerns.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. We here at our Teens in the Driver's Seat program, distractions is one of the main issues that we address. Teens are already at risk because they're inexperienced, and when you include any kind of risk factor, any kind of distraction, you're increasing your odds of being involved in a crash. So distractions are very important. And another thing that we focus as part of distractions is peer passengers. So, it's important to really focus on the driving task, right? And having
jamming
peers
out. Yeah.
Yes, I'm a mother of 2, and having kids in the vehicle sometimes is a struggle.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, thank you. I don't see any more questions right now. I know we've got about 15 minutes, but I want to just say thank you again so much to you, Officer Morales and Officer Mendoza, for spending some time and educating us. This means a lot to everybody here that's participating. This session is going to also be recorded. So for those who weren't able to attend, they're going to get to experience your wisdom and share on this experience as well. And thank you all so much for everyone's time who was here with us today. We will be having a lucky draw, so don't forget to stick around for that. And did you all have any closing thoughts before we ended this session that you'd like to share with our attendees?
As officers, we're here to protect the public also and educate the public. We're not here to make anyone's life a lot more difficult. Whenever you need us, we're going to be here. And a good day or bad day, we're always going to be there for the public, any citizen. Whenever they need us, we're just a call away. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. You want to talk to an officer, you can go up to an officer and talk to them. We're always here to educate, to help, and to support our community at any which point.
Also, don't be afraid to ask any questions. If you're on a traffic stop, if you're on the side of the road, we're here to help. Again, like my partner said, we're here to educate. No,
we want to thank you so much for letting us be a part of this. Okay, it's fun. This is our first time, and hopefully from next year we'll do it again. And it's an awesome experience.
Well, y'all did great for your first time. So I'm going to clap for everybody on their behalf, because you did awesome, and I really appreciate it. And I'm grateful that you all remind us that, you're here to help. I know when I was a kid growing up, my mom always told me she was going to call the police on me if I was doing that.
No, don't do that.
I don't. My daughters love police officers. I always remind them that, if a police officer's there and you need help, go ask the police officer to help you. And always remember that, we're appreciative of everything that you do for us, and, you're heroes. So thank you. We appreciate it. And again, we do hope you'll be here joining us again. Hopefully it'll be in person. So let's see how that goes. But y'all did an amazing job, and thank you again so much for your time.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you so much.
All right. So for everybody else, we're going to go ahead and close out this session. So please stick around for our lucky draw. And thank you again.
This is Shreen with the TDS Teen Advisory Board. A quick thank you to our presenters and to you for attending this session. Congratulations to the prize winner. You will receive your gift card in the email used to register for the summit. Don't forget to take the survey. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.